What you think about me and you, love? Spending some special time. I can even write a rhyme about you. See, I know what it means now to be caught up. Chasing your thoughts just like the scents of your perfume. It fills the room even when you're not there. Is it hot in here or is it just me? Maybe it's the vision of your mocha skin pulling me in and making me do things I don't wanna.
Inside the Line presents
Midwest Mocha Singles.
Good evening, everybody. Now, I like that intro. I really like how we come in there like that. But good evening. Yeah, we are welcome to the podcast, MMS Podcast 2020. And we got a good show tonight. We got a couple of decent topics. We got your phone calls. We got your emails. We're going to go ahead and get started. As usual, we are going to do intros. Of course, I am Brian Hendricks from Midwest Mocha Singles. And my right hand, as I always refer to him as David. Go ahead.
Hey everybody, good evening. Hope you guys are having a happy and blessed night tonight. Look forward to talking to you guys.
Okay, thank you, sir. Then next, of course, we have Don't Call Me Relia. Rila, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good evening.
Fantastic. And and that's with 3 E's, Mrs. Fletcher, go ahead, Mia.
You got it. Hey, everyone. Miss Mia out of Indianapolis checking in. Hope everyone's doing wonderful. Glad to be here today.
Excellent. All right. So we're going to get right into it. But before we actually started the show, we did have kind of a PSA coming on behalf of the squad itself. I'm going to let Mr. Rila go ahead and kick that off.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to say that even though the government is now opening up, cities, they're opening up malls and beauty shops and barber shops all across the nation now, I still want everyone to be safe out there. This thing isn't over. This COVID-19 is still very much real and alive. Please be safe. Protect yourselves. Wear your gloves and your masks. I know that my church sent out a message and said that they would be opening the doors of the church back up the first Sunday in June, but are taking precautions in doing that. They are, taking temperatures as you come into the door, and they are making sure that people are social distancing, and we have to wear masks and gloves and that kind of thing. So please, again, even though, the government deems it okay for us to stop, be more lax, I'm still pleading to all of you to be safe out there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I was saying, making kind of a joke earlier, I was saying everybody likes jazz. You like jazz? Well, keep jazz in the house. Keep jazz in the house and we'll be all right. So we're going to kick off the show, though. So we had an interesting topic here. And the first topic we have up is dating in religion. This means if you're dating somebody and their religious background is different than yours. Now, a disclaimer before we start this, MMS as a whole, we do not discriminate against whatever religion that you have. If you don't have one, whether it's Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, if you're atheist, it doesn't matter to us. We respect all or no stances at all. We ask that callers and listeners do the same for others. We know it's a touchy subject, but we still can talk about it because I think it's an important topic. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the ball off to Mr. Dave. We're going to get started. Just, Dave, give us your thoughts. What are your thoughts on dating somebody with a different religious background? Have you done it? And, give us a little take on it.
Let's see. Well, I haven't actually. No, I take that back. When I was a kid, I never really went to church a lot. It wasn't until I got married, and I just kind of blended in with what my wife at the time was believing in. And basically, she was pretty much, originally she was Baptist and then became non-denominational. My thing on that, my take on that whole thing is, and this is just my opinion, we only serve one God. So no matter what the difference is in what you believe, what you don't believe, in my opinion, there's only one God, and He's right above. And so that's the only thing I can really say on that subject. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, like that.
Yeah.
Mrs., you want to go ahead and take the next one?
Yes, I would say about the same. It's definitely hard for certain religions to come together because it's negative, if I'm dating someone who's not within the same religion as me. But I would say for me, I would be open to trying to understand someone who had a different religion to learn from, because I'm always open to, figuring out different things that may work for me. I might not practice, but I could definitely understand and help my spouse through that process. So I definitely would be open to dating someone in a different religion.
All right. Then let's go to Miss Rila.
You would save me for last on this one, wouldn't you? And I totally agree with you guys that we do serve one God. There is only one God. The issue I have is that when you're serving the God that you serve, if your spouse and you are not on one accord with beliefs, then it can get very messy, especially if you're bringing children into the mix. Because, say for instance, if I met someone who was Jewish and here I am a Christian, how is that going to work when you are raising children? They're going to want your children to be raised Jewish. I'm going to want my children to be raised Christian. So that can be a very sticky subject. Also, I just really want to be able to go to church with my spouse. I want me and my spouse to worship together. I want us to hear the word together. I want us to be able to go home and talk about the word. I want us to serve together. So if my husband is at one church or my boyfriend is at one church believing one thing and I'm at another church believing another, our service might not come together. So the Bible says that we're supposed to be not supposed to be unevenly yoked, and I am a true believer of that. So I really would rather my significant other, the man that I'm dating, to be of the same faith, and even within that faith, to be evenly yoked with me. So that's kind of my take on it. And like I said, children, when you bring children to the mix, that's going to make it even stickier.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, I mean, you ever get sticky? And I know this is just my bad sense. You might think egg yolks and sticky, but I mean that's how I've always kind of equated that whole situation. Yeah, I know, but I mean that seriously, that's what I think. Equally yolked, man, scrambled over easy. How's that going to work out? She likes her eggs like that. I want to go back to David for a second. So, David, I heard you at the top. You had said the W word, wife. So, did I hear that correctly? That you and your wife had different faiths? Did I catch that correctly?
No, because I really wasn't. When I was a kid, I really wasn't. Church wasn't really, I guess, infused into my life as a young kid. My parents, rarely went to church. So when they didn't go, I didn't go. So again, it wasn't until I met my spouse when I started understanding, religion and all that kind of stuff. So there wasn't a difference because I didn't really know any different other than what she taught me. We do have differences. We did have different. Once I started understanding a lot of stuff, we did have different takes on certain things, but we still kind of studied. We still just, the common denominator was God, or still is, and that's pretty much the most important thing for me. So no, it wasn't I didn't have a different. So no, we didn't have a difference at all.
And see, that's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing that you guys came to worship together, even though you weren't raised with a strong religious background. When you left your parents and you got married and cleaved, according to what the word says, to your wife, then at that point you two became one. And so you worshiping with her obviously was important to her. And so the fact that you were open to do that, that was a good thing. I mean, within your marriage, that was a good thing, because then you were worshiping together. You were hearing the same word. You were being able to study together and that kind of thing. So that was an awesome move on your part. And I'm just glad that you guys were able to come together, on one accord.
Well, we were able to come together because I was threatened with my life if I didn't go. So,
wow.
Well,
I mean,
the choice of meeting God on Sunday or meeting God, period.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, she even picked out my clothes and everything. And we matched. We did all of that stuff. So yeah, it wasn't It was the law, basically, as far as she was concerned. And I went along. I didn't want to die. So,
Well, amen. I'm glad you're still here.
Thank you so much.
So you was at church. You was like church. You got there like 7 a.m. and then like 3 p.m. They was trying to kick you out. Like, no, I can no. We got a late afternoon service I can hang out with for a minute. Come on,
man.
This is a cry for help.
Oh gosh.
Man, well, the one thing I've always thought about this, and I wasn't really raised as a, I guess, Christian. We didn't go to church a lot, so I kind of found my way when I got older, and I'm still finding my way. It ain't like I found it, I'm still looking.
Right.
One thing that I've noticed about me, and what I think I continuously realize myself, is that my views on religion keep evolving. It's different than where it was even 2-3 years ago. And I find that if I date another person who has a similar faith, it almost causes more friction. And the reason being, I've ended up with a couple of people that have these real narrow views on how you should worship, when, how often, what days, what you should say, when you should read, when you should pray. And if you're not in that same alignment with some of these folks, it's like, no, you're a Christian, so you need to be doing exactly what I'm doing. And it almost becomes like a battle, like who knows more about this particular scripture, or who knows more about this book. And I've been, going since I was 16, and I was going since I was 25, and I studied at this particular college, biblical college. And I almost found that sometimes with somebody of a different faith, like David said, you're worshiping the same God, but you learn different, I guess, angles and aspects of what religion is supposed to be. And you go, wow, I never thought about that. Like, for instance, who's the Jehovah's Witness? They date, if I'm correct, and if a caller's out there, you can correct me, I think they date with only the purpose of marriage. I like that idea. Personally, I think that's a good idea. But then again, some other religions are just, everybody's got different takes. So I found, having different well-rounded views actually makes it a little bit more interesting. It's like it's like rice with a couple of extra seasons that you don't normally use. Maybe it's like some seasoned salt and then maybe some, some taco flavor or something like that. And it ends up making a nice meal. I'm not suggesting you eat religion. I'm just saying that that's the flavor.
Yeah. I think that the people that you were dating, Brian, were very narrow-minded. They were very, they weren't open to hearing other views, which makes them dangerous. I think, too, that with that, religion is one thing, but your relationship with God is a whole other thing. So religion is the practice of doing certain things where your relationship, which is what you should have with God, is a whole other thing. It's personal. So I can't tell you how your relationship with God should work. That isn't something, if you and I were dating, that's not something that I can tell you. I think that it's definitely something that we would talk about as a couple, and we would have discussions about. But to be the drill sergeant, the Bible drill sergeant, that to me is, like you said, very narrow. Like I said, very narrow-minded. But yeah, I think that, like I said, relationship with God is very, very personal. My relationship with God is going to be different from your relationship with God, even if we are a couple. Even if we're a couple, it doesn't, it's going to be very different.
I agree. Hey, we got a handful of callers out there. So we had one waiting. Caller ending number 2073. Caller ending 2073. You got a minute. Go ahead. Call, you there?
This is Chester. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Chester Coburn. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, I just want to comment on that dating. If you're a saved person or dating outside of religion or stuff like that, there was a reason why God told Solomon not to marry these type of people. For one, he knew that they would turn his heart against God. In the beginning, Solomon started out, his heart was towards God. But in the end, his heart was turned away from God because he had 300 wives and 700 concubines. And each one of them had their own God that they served, and they turned Solomon away from the one true God. Also, the Bible says, what part does light have to do with dark? I myself, being a Christian, I can't date somebody that's a Jehovah's Witness, even though there are Christians, because the Jehovah's Witness doesn't believe like a Christian believes, because Christians believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. The Jehovah's Witnesses say that he is a prophet. Well, Jesus Christ is the Son of God, born of a virgin, died on the cross, raised 3 days later. And he said he didn't die; he laid down his life. See, they don't think that.
My Lord.
The Muslims, they don't think that either. Buddha, Confucius, none of them guys think that, could say that. But the God I serve says that you can't mix like that, because either you're going to persuade me to change or I'm going to persuade you to change. And
all right, yeah. Miss Fletcher, you want to weigh in on it? Miss Fletcher?
I'm sorry, the phone was fading out there. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead. Yep, we got you. I think you figured it out again, Miss Fletcher.
While she gets her technical difficulties straightened out, I agree with Chester. I totally agree with him in regards to, like I said, being unevenly yoked. I just don't think it's a good idea. Someone, like he said, is going to have to change, or someone's mind or heart toward God will be changed, or toward, like I said, their relationship, their personal relationship can be altered if they are in a relationship, a love relationship with someone who is not of the same faith.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm in line with that one. We're gonna go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I will say this. I was watching years ago an episode of Sex and the City, and Charlotte, it was one of my favorite shows, and Charlotte on that show was in love with a man who was Jewish, and she was not. This woman, because she wanted to be married so badly, converted to Judaism. And so and when she did convert, he still said, he was very strong in his faith, and he said, I can't marry someone who's not Jewish. She converted, went to Judaism, and he still said, my parents still don't approve of you because you were not born Jewish or raised Jewish. And so finally they did get married. He gave in, but and that's the thing. He changed her mind because she wanted to be married to him so badly. So I definitely agree with Chester.
Yeah, that's Chester, my boy. I always remind that whenever I hear that, it always makes me think of the mom from Goodfellas. They're not these people. They're not Jewish. You can't talk to them. They're not Jewish. What are you doing?
That's right.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's right.
So now we have another caller. Caller 0049. You're in the line. Caller 0049. You've got a minute. Go ahead.
I'm going to get you, Brian.
Can you hear?
Good evening, guys.
Hi,
everybody.
Hey.
Mother Baxter, how are you?
Hi,
Can you
Miss
hear me?
Sam.
Hi,
Yes, we
sweetheart.
can
How
hear
are
you.
you?
Wonderful.
I have a question for the panel.
Yes.
Religion takes in so much of who we are. What is the best part of you that you believe religion has brought?
Excellent question. Miss Fletcher, why don't you take that one?
For me, I am still within my journey. I feel like that it has brought an understanding to where religion should definitely play a big part of your household, your relationship with your friendship, your family, and within your love life. I haven't actually experienced a clash within a relationship with religion, but definitely making sure to work on myself as an individual and have my own beliefs and my own understanding with my God. So for me right now, the journey is just personal, and then hopefully merging that with my spouse in the future.
Excellent. I love it. And you know what? I'm gonna have to. Her name is Gloria, by the way. That the voice. I'm gonna have to make sure she makes an appearance every now and then. Y'all like Gloria?
We like Gloria.
It has a name?
Yes.
Wow.
She's
all of his personalities do.
She's from New York.
It's a female.
She's been here a short while. She likes warm potato salad and long walks in the rain.
Oh.
That's about it.
Walks in the rain.
No.
Long walks in the rain. Long walks in the rain on the beach. That's what she likes.
Okay.
Anyway.
We'll put Gloria away for the rest of the night.
Fine.
Wow.
Anyway, so while Gloria takes a quick break, we're going to take a break as well. This is an MMS podcast, Midwest Mocha Singles.
Yeah, this is Trueborn Understanding of Inside the Mind presents. And I'm spending my Wednesday nights live on the air with Damian Michael Speaks. Now, like many of you, a busy life and a hectic schedule sometimes gets in the way of me having a little bit of fun. So when this happens, I log into Midwest Mocha Singles on Facebook. There I can find the best in singles, relationship, convo, and more. So the next time you log into your Facebook page, go to the top search bar, type in Midwest Mocha Singles, and request to join. I'll see you there.
Hey everybody, I'm going to teach you how easy it is to learn African languages with our new study guide. Salfona, Uti and Sisi, Njani, Ngiapila, Dumela Upila Juan, hello, how are you? Kepila Hansle, Molo, hello, Njani, how are you?
For more info on how you can participate in learning languages for fun, please email us at createbilingualbabies@gmail.com, or you can message us on Facebook at Learn for Fun Today, or simply give us a call at 216-217-8280. I look forward to working with you very soon. That's Vidanya.
It's been really good. We've enjoyed every second of it.
Hey, what's up? You need the perfect getaway for some rest and relaxation? Well, why not get lost in the gorgeous view of the city surrounding you? Enjoy creative cuisine and the most gracious service. And Odyssey Cruise is the perfect setting for celebrating a special occasion with friends, an evening out with your loved one, or simply connecting with the colleagues. Odyssey is your city-served tableside. Incredible waterfront views, delicious meals freshly prepared on board, great entertainment with a dance floor and bar. Discover lunch, brunch, and dinner cruises at www.odysseycruises.com. Again, that's www.odysseycruises.com. Tell them your friends at Midwest Mocha Singles sent you. Blessings.
All right, we are back. Thank you. Yeah, those are dinner cruises. They are something else. You get a chance to get down to Chicago area. Those are very, very nice. Okay, so we're going to kick off the second segment, and the second segment is a touchy one. Little touchy. It's about dating in the workplace. Should you? Shouldn't you? If you do, how do you do it? And or not get caught getting away with it, or being successful? All of that. And we're going to kick off right away. Mrs. Fletcher is going to kick us off with dating, relationships, and working.
Oh, my goodness. Dating in the workplace. Me personally, it's always been a no, like an off limit, like let me have my space. Let me have my alone individual time. And no drama, of course, because over my years of working in the workplace, I have seen the scandals, the secrets, the drama, the spouse breaking up, going to the next spouse. I mean, it's always a mess. Yes, it works. I get it. For some people, it works. But for the majority, emotions always come into play, and it's hard to separate from we're at home and emotional, and now we're at work, and we're looking at each other, and we're emotional. And so for me, I'm like, nope. I don't want to deal with it. I want to miss you for a while. Come home and talk about my work people. How about that? You may know them, but because I talk about them, but I don't want you to know them personally and actually can walk up to me at work and have lunch together. No. Too close. So I definitely, I'm all for you guys who are out there who are couples and at work and drive to work together and have your lunch. That's cute. But everyone has that breather. Like you have to have that breather. Like you have to have it. And maybe different departments, different sectors. I don't know, but I cannot imagine walking into work, kissing, honey, see you later. And and then we badge in together. I cannot imagine. Like I would be like, get him away from my desk. Like, get him. So yes, definitely. No. It's a no for me. No for me. Yeah. What about you, David?
Nice segue. All right, so. I was actually, I actually experienced it once or twice, and both experiences were very messy. And I'll tell you why, because neither one of them keep their mouth shut. Mm-hmm. If it's something between me and you, it's between me and you, not me, you, and you want to tell everybody else to. Right. You want to let everybody else know that you're messing with me just to keep everybody else at bay. So it is exciting sometimes. I'll give you that, but it's messy at the end, and just I don't condone it anymore. So it's I agree. It's too much. It's too much. You got your work wife and you got the side wife. Yes. It just doesn't work. Yes. It doesn't work. Your one boo. Your one boo is mad at your other. Your one boo is mad at your other boo, and now you're both boo-hooing. I can't have that. I can't deal with that. You know what I mean? It's just too much. So no, I will never do it again. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have that and you break up, like let's say you have the arm work, that's the original way to get fired on your day off. And then to me, that's as much as I'm gonna weigh in on that one. I'm gonna let Ms. Reela go ahead because I'm not touching that one.
Not touching.
Well, there's a couple of things that I have to say. In regards to David's statement, it's funny because, David, who did you think you were dating? You were dating women. Of course, women want people to know this is my boo. You know? And definitely at the workplace, they're going to let every other woman in there know that he's off limits. So you messed up right there. But the second thing that I have to say is that there are two places that I choose not to date, at work and at church. And the reason being is the same for both. It's because you break up with somebody and now you're sitting on that side of the office and they're sitting on the other side of the office and y'all staring at each other, mad, you know, and it comes, like Mia said, it overflows from home. The emotions now are in the office. And now, David, everybody knows your business. And it just, like you said, gets very messy. So or at church, you sitting on one side of the sanctuary, y'all used to sit together. Now he's moved all the way to the other side of the sanctuary. People looking at y'all because now you're not sitting together anymore. And it just gets uncomfortable. That's my place of worship. And I don't want to be uncomfortable in my place of worship. And then that's my place of employment. That's where my check comes from. Don't mess with my check. So therefore, I don't want to be uncomfortable at my workplace either. So I say, you know, just keep it apart. However, I know that is the one of the places that people tend to meet these days. It's online, in social settings, and at work that people meet. So it happens more times than not these days. I just happen to not want to date anybody I work with.
Yeah, well, they say you don't want to blank where you eat, right? That's as much as I'm away on it. We have a handful of callers. By the way, if you are listening and you have a comment or a complaint or a bribe, just press 1 and you will be put through. We have a caller. Wow. The last 4 numbers are 2073. You haven't won, but you're going to be able to come into the show. So, again, 2073, you're on the air. You have a minute. Go ahead. Call you there?
I think
Call you
there
there?
was another caller.
Yeah, 4583.
Yeah,
okay.
4583 has been.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we did. I'm sorry. We had I think it's 485. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4853. We have caller ending in 4853.
Yeah, that would be me. Hi, my name is Rudy. How's everybody doing?
Hey, Rudy.
Hey,
Rudy. How are you?
Rudy.
I've heard that once or twice.
Yes.
I'd have to say on this topic, I pretty much agree with everyone, but I really have to ride the coattail of what Rila has said. The two places between work and church. To me, I've done it before, and the many years ago, it ended very badly. And so I just learned that I never want to have it where whenever you have any conflict, whether you're upset because I left the toothpaste top off or whatever the case may be, it seems to, it always will spill out at work in one way or another. You can quite try to stay on the one side of the building and on the other side of the building, but you're still going to the same parking lot. And so it's just, I just don't condone it either. It just seems to always just lead down to a very messy, and sticky, to use your words, ending. So no, I don't think that ever works.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
When you talk about, again, with the church and the job, it's two places you can catch hell, and it's just, to me, again, I like making these little comments. I'm trying to tiptoe around this.
You're tiptoeing around it.
As much as possible. All I'm gonna say is I made the mistake of dating somebody who was in a different pay grade than I was. So this was somebody who had direct influence over the current job that I held at the time. She better not be listening right now. And on top of that, I think when things got, I will say, weird, sticky, it just there was. I mean, there's no way you can go with someone like that. And if you've had trouble in the relationship, you can't go and say, "What about that raise? What about that promotion?" And they go, "Well,
right.
What about that girl that called you last week?" I mean, that's just all of that. That's the one piece of advice I would say is that if you're going to do that, make sure it's with somebody who's got the same mindset as you about what you're getting into. That's about all I'm going to say on that one. We'll do a Forrest Gump.
Well,
that's all I have to say about that.
That's a great point, Brian, because if you're dating someone who has influence over your pay, your promotions, your performance, whether you're fired or not, your disciplinary action, that can turn into a sexual harassment suit. I mean, it could turn into something more than just we broke up and now you looking at me crazy and, it gets messy in the office. It could turn into something very serious, something legal.
Right.
So, I think that, again, that just gives you another whole perspective as to why it's just not a good idea.
Yeah. And again, I've seen good cases where people date and it's all lovely and, they get married. That's great. There's some opportunities to find the love of your life at work. So
sure.
I'm not saying it never works, but because I'm sure there's some people out there listening like, wait a minute, I found the love of my life. So, yes, it happens.
Yeah,
but
true.
just, having the maturity and understanding how to communicate. I feel like you have to have conversations on how to interact and how to deal when you're at work and when you're at home, and how to have that separation. Because if you're mature enough, I feel like you can be able to separate the two and not come into work upset, and causing confusion. So it is possible.
True. That's very true. Possible.
And doesn't it also depend upon the type of work environment? Like, Miss Me and I know about, we were in a corporate setting. So you literally could have worked with somebody and never seen that person the entire day, week, month. You could have went a long time with never seeing their face. Then again, you could also be in like a small environment where you might be working the same. There might be like a bank branch. And so that also, I think, has a lot to do with it, too, because how much exposure you have that to that person. And you're seeing that person interact with other people all day long, so you got to check yourself. Like, okay, they're at work. They may have to talk to somebody like this, or they may have to see me talk to somebody like that. Do you think that also plays a factor, or is it just the fact that you work for the same corporation, your paychecks are signed by the same person, that makes it difficult, or the decision goes based on that?
Yeah, I feel like
I agree.
The same. Just being able to, it'll work definitely if you're not neck and neck, and you have that space between you so you can still come together, have those conversations, but still have a connection. You have a common ground where you have something that you can talk about and relate to each other. So, yeah, that definitely is helpful.
Yeah.
It just seems, it seems like it when it first happens, because again, I've worked with people and thought, man, she's beautiful, and thought, wow, this would be perfect.
Thank you.
I get to see her every day. So see, so Miss Fletcher, she worked, I think, maybe 2-3 desks down from me, and I'll admit there was a couple of different dudes I thought really, because they would come down. I saw him check you out, and I would always think about that. I'm like, wonder, if he really spit that game, what that would be like. Because we saw, I'm not gonna say any names, but we saw a couple that actually formed in the workplace. As a matter of fact, they got married. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, the Schwebbles.
And that one, but it didn't look good when it was going down. I'll just say that much.
The talk of the workplace.
Oh, yes, they were. And man, I wish we could talk about how they met, because that was something there. But anyway, so we do have our another commercial break coming up here before we move into another caller segment and reading off some questions. So we will be back in just a short while at MMS Podcast, Midwest Mocha Singles.
Yeah, this is True Born Understanding of a Side. Yeah, this is True Born Understanding of a Side the Mind presents. And I'm spending my Wednesday nights live on the air with Damian Michael Speaks. Now, like many of you, a busy life and a hectic schedule sometimes gets in the way of me having a little bit of fun. So when this happens, I log into Midwest Mocha Singles on Facebook. There I can find the best in singles, relationship, convo, and more. So the next time you log into your Facebook page, go to the top search bar, type in Midwest Mocha Singles, and request to join. I'll see you there. Move on.
Hey everybody, I'm going to teach you how easy it is to learn African languages with RMU Study Guide. Salfona, Uti and Sisi, Njani, Ngiapila, Dumela Upila Juan, hello, how are you? Kepila Hansle, Moro, hello, Njani, how are you?
For more info on how you can participate in learning languages for fun, please email us at createbilingualbabies@gmail.com, or you can message us on Facebook at Learn for Fun Today, or simply give us a call at 216-217-8280. I look forward to working with you very soon. That's Vidanya.
Want to get away, Indy? Need a special place to celebrate that anniversary? Sybaris in Indy has your back. For more than 4 decades, Sybaris Pool Suites have proven to be the anniversary and birthday getaway destination for couples. Close to home with flexible times, stay for just an afternoon or for several days. Sybaris is the perfect place for busy couples to enjoy a special occasion. Now, due to the current lockdown situation, the staff is taking extra precautions to make their locations cleanly and safe as they are friendly and stylish. Take a virtual tour at www.sybaris.com or call 317-337-9000. I've stayed there myself. The place is absolutely amazing. And again, that number is 317-337-9000 to book, or www.sybaris.com. Don't just get a room somewhere. Enjoy an experience with Sybaris. Mention MMS upon booking once travel has reopened for a special rate.
All right, yes, Sybaris, that is my spot. We are back, and we're going to kick off the last segment here. We have your email. So through the fan page, we have an avenue where a lot of people will send in questions. They want it on air, so we take those throughout the week, and some of them have been for a couple of weeks. So we will get that kicked off. So we've selected a few that we'll read out and then answer them here and discuss them. David, I believe you have one that you have picked out, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, this one's a doozy, so just bear with me. So here's the question. So if there's certain things you like when it comes to sex, an example, women, toys, domination, etc., when is it a good time to tell your mate or someone you're dating these things? I think you ought to have that conversation fairly soon in a relationship. I don't want to be intimate with somebody and all of a sudden I hear something buzzing going on behind me. You know what I mean? I want to know, hey, what you doing with that? You know, I can't. No. We're not going to have that. We're going to have that conversation first. Before we, indulge. And then if we're with it, more power to us. But if not, hey, you had that conversation. We know what we like. We know what we don't like. But we got to have that conversation first.
That's okay. Absolutely. Yep. Because It that one can end up being ugly real quick.
Real quick.
That's the kind of stuff you want to make sure, like, you put down, like, on the resume before you get into the relationship. Like, yeah, I can do X, Y, Z. No, that's not going to do. That's no
buzzing.
Nah.
So
I don't see a scenario.
Say again?
David, are you thinking on a first or second or third date?
I'm just saying whenever it feels right, you guys are having a conversation, and you know how, if you're vibing, if you're connecting with that person, conversations happen where it veers off to different types of subjects, and the more you talk, the more you learn about each other. That may enter the picture. Eventually you're going to probably be intimate with that person, and it'll probably be that would probably be the best time to say, hey, well, I'm kind of into this. Are you down with it? Yes or no, whatever. But at least, in my opinion, you got to have that conversation first. Again, don't come behind me buzzing with stuff. I just can't do it.
Can't do it.
But see, here's what I think. Here's a curveball though, because see, here's where this could get tricky. You're talking like, and I've experienced this once. You're talking to somebody. It's the first conversation, right? Things are going good. You can see down the road. Okay, I like this person because, like most people may or may not admit it. Within the first, I'm gonna say 10 minutes of talking to somebody, if you start liking that. It doesn't take you, 6 or. I mean, you don't have to be in love, but okay, this conversation is moving forward. I like where it's going. So when you hit that, and let me rephrase that. When you reach that point, look at y'all. Don't we got a beat button on here? We're supposed to be G-rated, whatever. But no, seriously.
Yeah.
When you reach that point, is it okay on the first? And this is primarily to the ladies listening and the two ladies on the panel. Do you immediately become offended if he or me says, I'd like to talk about this subject? I say it respectfully, but I am talking about that avenue because it's important. There's no reason to have 6 months of conversation if I know that there's something down the line in that area, which I think is important, that you are totally against or not with. So is it too soon initially to talk? I mean, do we have to wait on that?
Are you saying on the first date?
On the first initial? Or
on the first
in general, in the beginning?
Or the first phone call? When are you saying, Brian?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the first phone call, but again,
first phone call.
Said respectfully, not say like, hey, do you want to do? I mean, but you say, hey, this is important to me, so I want to make sure I talk about this, and then it's presented professionally, respectfully.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say for me, as long as you're, like you said, respectful, I'm okay with it. I feel like when you're like beating a dead horse or that's all of your conversation, that's when it's a turn off. And I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work for me. But I feel like when I'm having a conversation with someone, it's a long-winded like conversation. We're vibing. We're covering a lot of different topics. So that could come up. And I want to see how you respond to that talk about sexual, your sexuality or what your intentions are. And if that is all our topic is, then I'm like, yeah, probably don't want to continue, having this conversation with this person. So you kind of tell on yourself. I feel like women should bring it up even, before the man to see how they respond, because you'll kind of know, is this what they want, or is it just something, okay, they're okay with it because everyone has it, so it should definitely be a common conversation to have. Don't. I feel disrespected if a man is having that conversation with me because they think about it. Women think about it all the time as well. So go with it. You will know. You'll feel it.
Yeah. For me, I think the first conversation that we have, and I just don't feel like sex should come up, and that's just me. And the reason is because it shouldn't. For me, it should not come up. And the reason being is because there are so many other topics to talk about than sex, and I just found out your name. So,
but none of them feel that good.
So for me, in my conversation with a man, hopefully we're talking about our common interests. We're talking about, maybe work or children or family or things that we enjoy doing, we might want to do on our first date, those kinds of things when we're talking about a first conversation. I don't want to talk to you about sex. I don't know you. And who says that we're ever going to get to that point? Now, as we go along, it's a definite important conversation to have because, like David said, there's certain areas that you can't touch. There's certain things that you might not be able to do with me. So it's a very important conversation to have. Again, you need to be equally yoked in a whole lot of different areas in a relationship. And I'm not just talking about religion. I'm talking about sex. I'm talking about children. I'm talking about financial status. I'm talking about all of those things. So it's a very important conversation to have, just not with me on the first conversation. The first phone call. Now, the first date, we've had several phone calls in the past, and we talked about all that interest and all that good stuff, then maybe it might come up. But on that first conversation, no. Mm-mm.
I'm going to circle back right quick. David, did you see how she did that drive-by when she said there's not other topics? I said none of them feel that good, and she did that drive-by and went right past it and kept going. Did you catch that?
I didn't want to say anything. I'm trying to.
As a matter of fact, I did.
But I don't know. I mean, it just.
We need somebody to call in and weigh in on this conversation.
Yes.
Absolutely. So if you're calling out there, if you're a male and you agree with me or anybody else really, just press 1 so you can weigh on this and help a brother out right now because I really feel like this subject should not be taboo. Again, everybody's got their opinion, but I really think that topic, if it's important to you, anything that's important to you, you should discuss it as soon as humanly possible because I don't want to get all wrapped up in somebody and then have the conversation later and find out we have something that's so personal, so deep that I'm like, okay, this is a deal breaker for me. If I got somebody that says, I only want to make love on the mouth of a volcano, I'm not doing that, and I want to find that out. If that's how you roll, I want to find that out before we go on 6, 7 days, or even 1 day.
Yes, there are certain people who put a lot of restrictions on their sexual interactions. So it may be very important to know that, oh my God, I can only have sex on Tuesday. Okay, well that's not going to work for certain people. So,
and that's so true. That is so true. It is a very important conversation to have, just not the first time you dial my number.
But it has to be natural. Like if we're having a conversation, we might be on the phone for 4 hours, and we've covered so many different topics, and then something may trigger a conversation, and then it kind of spirals, and then it comes up. I'm not going to be offended or anything that, we're having this conversation. It just happens because your topics, they're fluid and they just go all over the place. So hopefully it comes up. It doesn't have to be forced like, in a disrespectful manner, but it definitely can come up in a first conversation that you have with someone.
Yeah, and when we talk about that too, the natural thing, if that's natural for me and I don't ask and I hold off, isn't that unnatural then? I mean, I'm thinking at that point I'm trying to conform to another style of conversation other than the one I'm used to. True or false? Cricket.
You're right. If that's a normal thing for you to talk about sex on a very first encounter, then you would probably be conforming to a different type of conversation or a different type of. You would be conforming to something different. I don't think that that's a bad thing, though. I think it depends on the person because, like I said, for me, that's not going to be a natural – for me, I don't care if we're on the phone all night, and I have had that experience. Talk to someone for 6, 7 hours, don't hang up until, you hang up. No, you hang up. Those kinds of conversations. We're just vibing and having a great time on the phone. But for me, that wouldn't be appropriate. It wouldn't feel natural. It wouldn't feel good to me. So therefore, hopefully the person that I'm talking to is going to vibe with that. They're going to catch my vibe, and maybe that's just not something we talk about on the first conversation. So you would conform, but that's not a bad thing. On the second conversation or the third or however many it takes, then at that point, if you really like this person, then why not wait until – I think there's a time and a place for everything. And for me, that first conversation wouldn't be that time.
So
I can agree with that.
I'm not disagreeing. Not disagreeing per se.
It's okay if you do.
I just
feel like it's hard to have certain stipulations on the flow of a relationship. And for me to say that, oh my God, if someone brings this up on a first interaction, I can't deal with you, or I can't talk. It's kind of hard to be like, oh my God, it's a red flag. Not necessarily, because people hold out things until after you're together in the same house, so it's like, get it all out there. I'm not saying be, disrespectful, but it may come up just talking about something that you saw on social media, television, a movie, and then one of you might just bring it up and say, well, how do you feel? And then that's the end of the conversation, like nothing more, to kind of, feel your temperature and feel how you're, going to respond. But to say that, oh, my God, I'm going to shut it down immediately, no, I'm going to see how you're going to respond to the conversation as well, because I want to see where your head is. And then we can add on to that as we have more conversations. It's going to progress until we actually start engaging in the activity if we end up going there. But I definitely wouldn't say it's off limits on the first conversation, because it may come up.
Thank you. I have to tend to lean towards this. We had another question here I was going to read off. I want everybody's weigh in on this. The question came in from one of the members. It said, what has your experience been like on dating sites? So whoever has actually been on one, go ahead and weigh in on what you've experienced on these. And please name the site so we have some context.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Name the site.
No, we're not promoting. We're not promoting the site or discrediting the site.
I wouldn't.
Just the
one
sites that are out there.
One of them rhymes with stupid.
All of
one
them.
of them rhymes with stupid.
I'm sorry. Woo.
That's all I'm going to say
so
about
sorry.
that one.
Woo.
It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
Anybody got experience?
David, I think it is hit or miss.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that I've met on those sites I'm still friends with.
Friends.
Nothing romantic. Nothing romantically, came about it. But we're still friends. We still conversate. But
dating
you get
serious,
some boo-boos
like
too.
Yes, it's a game on the. It's a lot of catfish.
Yep.
A lot of personalities.
God.
There's a lot of
people
trying to actually promote or receive certain followings. So it's not necessarily initially it was put out there for dating, but I think now it's like a game. You kind of have to fish around a lot to actually find someone maybe that you could potentially date. And then, you're probably going to mark off some things that are on your list that you're like, I'm going to have to deal with that because I have this goofy person from this app, and it's a no.
Yeah.
It's a good laugh, though. If you want to be entertained, definitely sign up for one of the free ones, and you will definitely be entertained.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is take something seriously, because you will drive yourself crazy if you do
that.
Brian, what about you?
What about me?
How's your dating app experience?
Well, I'll just say this, that when I first started them, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. It was because it's not a Facebook page. I don't know if it's still around. It was Black People Meet, and I think they should have changed the name to MEAT, because that's how I viewed the site primarily, and it wasn't a positive experience. I would say that what I've learned now was what I was just saying. Don't take them too seriously. I think we lost David. Y'all, I apologize. But yeah, I would say that just not take it too seriously, and take your time with it. Don't expect too much, and I think you'll be all right.
Yeah. Wow, this hour went by really quickly.
It always does. It always does. So we're going to do a quick sign-off real quick. Again, I think technical difficulty. I think we lost David. If we want to go ahead and do some sign-offs real quick, Ms. Rila?
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you see you next week for our other family who is going to be coming to you with some different topics. Have a good and safe weekend.
Keep yours at home. Mrs. Fletcher.
Yes, thank you guys for listening. We definitely enjoy your questions. Keep those coming in to the inbox. Definitely tune in next week's podcast as well, same time, and we will be back the following week after that.
Amen, amen. Thank everybody for listening. Thanks Cerberus again for their contributions. True Board Understanding for producing the show. David sent me a message. He wants everybody to eat as much bacon as possible on his behalf in the next week. Next week, Miss Pam, Mama Pam, will have a show on Thursday at 9 p.m., same channel. For the rest of us, we are signing off. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Keep jazz in the house.
See you in 2 weeks.
What you think about me and you, love, spending some special time. I can even write a rhyme about